Hi, welcome. I'm Martha Rich, and I'll be your main guide through this video portion of the Conversation Canvassing training. I live in Enfield. I'm a member of Mascoma Forward. Door-to-door canvassing has always been my favorite way to contribute to campaigns, but I've often felt I'd like to stay longer at doors and understand more about what voters are thinking. And yet that's not always possible in the intense, heated phases of get out the vote. So what we're sharing in this training is a different way of connecting with voters. We call it conversation canvassing, and it's based on a model known as deep canvassing. As an organized strategy, it's only been around for the last 10 years or so, but I believe that this is the way that effective candidates for office have been talking to voters at their doors for a long time. So whether you're an experienced canvasser or just brave enough to begin, we hope that you'll find this video series useful and encouraging. Let's go. We'll begin with the acknowledgement that wherever we are in the state of New Hampshire, we're on Endakina, the traditional ancestral homeland of the Abenaki, Pennacook, and Wabanaki people, past and present. We acknowledge and honor with gratitude the land and waterways and the people who have stewarded Endakina through the generations. This is the first in a series of 10 short videos. In this one, we're going to talk about our purpose, our history. In other words, how did we get here? The Conversation Canvassing Project began in March 2021, when Democrats in Grafton County established a voter outreach committee. That entire voter outreach group has contributed to this effort over the past 3 years. But I'd like particularly to recognize my colleagues on the training team. Original members include Donna Pigeon, Barbara Jones, and Harrison Drinkwater. These folks are all from Enfield, members of Mascoma Forward, the Mascoma area Democrats. Ann Garland lives in Lebanon and is chair of Grafton County Democrats. Joining in 2022 to form CCNH and take the training forward, Rob Claflin of Concord and the Kent Street Coalition, Christy West of Mount Vernon Democrats, Judy Elliott of Canterbury and the Loudon Canterbury Merrimack 4 Democrats, and Katie Cutchell of Bedford, working with Bedford Democrats, the Hillsborough County Democratic Committee, and Granite State Matters. These are the people who've designed and delivered the strategy you're about to learn. So, what's the point of all this? What's our purpose? The charge to our committee was to develop a strategy for increasing voter engagement. No particular guidelines, just think about it. As we did that thinking, we felt inspired by the work of Stacey Abrams, who found all sorts of voters in Georgia that other campaigns had overlooked or discounted. Harrison, would you please read this first quotation?
The goal of reaching everyone and meeting them where they live is the essence of good campaigning.
Stacey Abrams also says we need to engage voters through continual outreach, not just every 2 or 4 years. Donna, will you read this next statement, please?
Long-term transformation in politics demands a strategy that looks beyond a presidential cycle to a sustained architecture of engagement.
So that's what we're beginning now, sustained connections. We set out with an adventurous spirit. This was the first conversation canvassing effort by Democrats in New Hampshire. Since it was an experiment, we needed to keep our minds open, to change things based on our experience, and keep learning. That continues to be true. Our goal was to have a strategy we could share with others, starting with a few towns spreading through Grafton County and eventually across the state. We did a small pilot at first, just Enfield, Canaan, and Lebanon, with about a dozen volunteers. From our small start in Grafton County, we've now done 3 cycles of training for more than 300 people all over the state. After that expansion, our goal became clear: to establish conversation canvassing as a recurring voter engagement strategy, starting in the year before an election. And with this expanding statewide effort, we have 2 primary goals: engaging grassroots volunteers in listening conversations so we can develop all across New Hampshire sustainable year-round canvassing teams who share progressive values and will reach out to their neighbors. That's the sustained architecture of engagement we seek, to build a movement dedicated to democracy and empathy. CCNH partners with the Grafton County and state Democrats, also with activist groups like the Kent Street Coalition and Third Act. All of that depends, of course, on people stepping up to try this strategy. We're so grateful that you're interested in joining this pioneering work. And whenever groups begin learning new things together, it's helpful to set some norms, working agreements that will guide our training sessions. These guidelines can be especially helpful when we get into actual practice and working together, rather than simply learning from videos. So first, we offer best practices, not prescriptions. Our canvassing methodology is research-based and field-tested, but it's not a strict recipe. It's designed for adaptation, both to local circumstances and to your personal style as a canvasser. That individual perspective means each of us is an expert. We all bring our own experience and passion and skills to this work. At the same time, we are all learners together. This is new for many of us, and our collective experience helps us improve. The next one we added as we began our actual work at doors. Courage, curiosity, and compassion are all part of our approach to the people we'll meet. The last one we added after we'd been working for a while. We need to give ourselves room for mistakes, busy lives, time out. Our assumption is that everyone is doing the best they can, giving whatever time they can. No shame, no blame, no judgment, no guilt. So now let's get practical. Here's the way this project goes. The first step is registration. You can go to our website and sign up. When you do that as an individual, we'll connect you with a group in your area. If you're already part of a group, your team leader can register the entire team and then distribute the password to everyone. Then you're ready for the training itself. Here's how that works. You'll start with videos you'll find on the website. You can watch these on your own time, at your own pace, or you can get together with others and watch together on Zoom. We provide discussion questions if you'd like to use them. There are 10 short video episodes, 10 to 20 minutes long, and total viewing time is about 2 hours. So you can binge it in a day or take a few weeks. When your town's group has viewed all the videos, we'll bring you together for a workshop with members of CCNH as facilitators. This is an interactive session on Zoom, 1 hour long. At the workshop, we address the questions you have so far, and we do some role playing to give you practice. Participants have found this very helpful. The final step is to go out and do your canvassing. It can be on your schedule. When and how often will be a local decision. The timing may depend on the issues you choose to discuss with people. And for this coming season, we'll provide two main options. Issue canvassing. The basic question here is, what's on your mind? It sets up an open-ended conversation, giving the voter a chance to discuss their concerns and you the chance to look for common ground. Last year, Stratford County canvassers literally put the question on a button. You won't have to be an expert on every issue, just an empathetic and respectful listener. Accountability canvassing involves listening to voters' concerns, but its goal is to share information about the positions right-wing extremists have taken in the New Hampshire legislature. As the Free State Project gains increasing power in our state house, it's ever more aligned with MAGA priorities. We need to talk with voters about this. If your group has a particular topic you want to target, we can help you adapt your canvassing plan using either a focused issue conversation guide or an accountability approach. In 2025, one really important topic is affordability, the crisis of rising costs. Whether it's housing, food, childcare, or property taxes, we need to be talking with our neighbors about ways to make their lives more affordable. So, as we canvass, what are the outcomes we seek? The first is something that's hard to measure, but we can often feel it. People have a sense of connection to us. They feel heard. We've opened some common ground. If we meet unregistered voters who may be reluctant folks or new people in town, we encourage them and give them the information they need. If we've established a connection with them, we may follow up. Another aim is to collect data. Is the voter record accurate? The statewide database, called Vote Builder, needs continual updating. We can help with that. We also want to keep our own local records and notes. The more we know about our own neighborhoods and the issues people care about, the more sustainable our canvassing efforts will be. Finally, the outcome we want is support. Evidence that the people we meet share our values. Our goal is for them to take the action we propose, to become engaged. Our strategy for reaching these goals is conversation canvassing. We'll learn more about that in the next episode, number 2. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, fascists, you may be surprised. People in this world are getting organized. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose.